How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Music Production Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Funk, and this is the show where we talk about all things making music. And today, I have two gentlemen who are very excited about making music and talking about it with me. They are the band They Owe Us from Sweden. And the music you just heard is the title track from their new album, Broken English and Sad Serenades. They're a duo.
Yeah.
They are. They're excited to be here, I know. They're a duo. They do, I would say, like it's an electronic vibe, but it's very, very like songwritery too. I'd say like influences. I even heard like Beach Boys a little bit in there, and lot of good bands, modern stuff too. So I'm very happy to talk to you guys. Welcome to the show, Rane and Kris.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. You guys are making some cool music. Been enjoying the album. It's called Broken English and Sad Serenades. It's available on all your streaming platforms.
Yeah.
So congratulations on the album now. It's about a month old, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Cool. So maybe I can ask you to, how do you guys pitch the band? So let's pretend like... we just met as we have. Like, how do you describe your music and what you guys do?
It's kind of easy because we made this album out of joy of hanging out and have fun in the studio. Mm-hmm. So hopefully people will hear that as well. So it's basically two friends who's got a lot of fun making music. And then it can be a little bit, one song can be a little bit different compared to the others, but that's how we want to do music, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty wide like color palette of songs. And I mean, the mix between electronic sounds and acoustic is there as well. We use a lot of like acoustic piano combined with electronic drums and real drums and vocoders, and it's a real mashup between acoustic and electronic sound sources.
That was definitely something I enjoyed about the sound of the album. I come from those types of backgrounds myself as a guitar player. I played in rock bands most of my life, and then over the last 10 years or so, I've gotten into more electronic stuff. Synthesizers and drum machines, are, to me, still it's been 10 years probably since I got my first synthesizer, but they still feel like relatively new adventures for me. And I'm really into the combination of the acoustic and the electronic. I think that's something you guys have done a nice job with. I'm surprised. I find that a hard mix sometimes, where I guess like, especially when you're doing like software instruments, they're so perfect, they're in time, they're so in tune, and then your guitar is never really in tune with itself. It's always got a little bit of variation in there, and sometimes things like that, I find it's a tough thing to mix, but you guys did a nice job with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I think we enjoyed the lack of perfection in our analog gear. There are a lot of happy mistakes with those old instruments that not fully working all the time.
But that's also, that's you should have some sort of relationship to your instrument. And if someone's perfect, after a day or two, it's getting pretty boring, I think. So I enjoy when it's, distorted, when it's supposed to be clean, or and that's a good thing of making music this way also, because we had an idea of making music, and then we brought a lot of Prosecco and sweets, and then so many of the songs that end up on the album, that's demos or one takes while figuring out the song, right?
Yeah,
a lot of
improvisation,
a lot of keyboard solos, and also some drum things when after we heard it, and then we supposed to record the album again, And then I said, hey, I'm not able to do this drums. I had to be, because it was at that time you captured your vibe.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to copy that, it's better to be, all right, we did it. Okay, we just used 2 microphones, but let's make the best out of it, because the best vibe or feeling anyway.
Yeah, and that's what we think is the most important when it comes to making music. Is it's the takes and the expression, and not like the best microphone and preamp, blah blah blah. Yeah, I think the expression and the takes are always the winner when it comes to a good result.
Yeah, I've always found there's like some sort of magic when a song is still new and fresh. And you kind of, there's an energy to it. And I can relate to you two playing together as friends with some of my friends. When we get together, there's always this, like when the song is fresh and new, it's got like a certain kind of like fire to it.
Yeah.
It's super hard to recreate.
Recreate, that's the word. Yeah.
I so often get this like demoitis thing if I record something intending maybe that's just a demo to test it out, and then I try to redo it, and it's like I don't know, it's like faking it or acting or something, or or like tracing the painting rather than just the painting itself.
That's a good thing also being a band, because you react to the other guy, to the other person. If you do something or I do something and you follow, or I think that's the wonderful and beautiful benefit of being a band that enjoy making music together. So that's basically how we made this album.
Yeah,
that's something like we miss these days. A lot of like producers are like solo in their little studios, locked up in the middle of the night, and they're not getting like the interaction. It's something I've certainly missed myself. I miss playing with people and having like that shared experience. And oh, you did that, now I'm going to do this, and now
exactly,
we're both in a new place that neither one of us knew we were going to.
And also there can be like project that's not well known, but there's no time limit, and then you can grid the music, and you can pitch and you can work so much, and when you're done with it, the identity of the song is more or less gone. Of course it can be like a wonderful song, but everything that made that from the beginning, it's gone.
Right.
I can enjoy listening to music that end up being perfect, but I don't want to be in a band play that thing. I get bored out of that very fast.
You can like edit the life out of it. I have that. That's something I want to ask you guys about a little bit with like live performance. But it's sometimes there's so much, I guess, like pre-recorded stuff and playing to the click. And I mean, some of this you have to do a little bit, I think, when you're working with all these machines. But it can also force live performances to be the same thing every single time. And that is half the fun of being in a band playing with other musicians, is you can decide to do something a little differently. How do you guys man, I guess let me start here then, because we'll get back to the live performance. But so you're saying like it sounds like when you do songs, are these ideas you have that you show up with, or do they kind of happen on the spot?
I think it's a mix of those two things. Usually one of us come with an idea, like a verse or a chorus or a top liner, and then we help and correct each other or whatever.
Or support, support. That's a good idea.
But a lot positive. Of this did happen on the spot as well, actually. Some of the songs, especially when it comes to the production, is more or less just throwing yourself out from a steep or how you should it's we decided to do this without any
rules or boundaries. Just do it. If it feels right, if you would like to use that string machine as a bass, all right, let's do it. But you will never get a bass sound out of it. But okay, my friend, let's do it. And then we did it. And then when we mixed it, man, we should use bass. But then it's done. So all right, let's do it. Let's keep with the string machine. And I enjoy that. And now when I'm listening to that song, that's Brushing Up the Dust, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I can still smile, because we did high five and said, yeah, we should use that string machine for bass. It sounds amazing. And then when we mixed it, it's a lack of bass.
But
I like that,
Yeah, that connection you have with it, and
Yeah.
just that's I think a good form of creativity too, like where you work within this like limitation, or you try to make something fit that maybe doesn't exactly,
Yes.
and it can be the whole source of the character of the entire song.
True.
I like to think of songs as having like gimmicks almost, because this sort of helps me keep from trying to do everything in every song. There's that temptation, today with infinite tracks and things where we can make everything happen in a track.
Yeah.
But a lot of my favorite songs have like this one thing about them. Like, I don't take say Yesterday by the Beatles. It's got the string section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't also have the part where they rock out, and then when they
Yeah.
start screaming, and then like where they, are playing around with like toys as instruments and things. It just does that. That's the one thing it does, and it just it lets that be the character and stand out in the song. So you've misused the string machine as a bass machine.
Yeah.
You guys mention, or I've read that you have a lot of like instruments you guys make yourselves. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like it said like I handmade drums and things. Maybe
Yeah, I build my own drums.
Uh-huh.
But it's not that unique, but it's a great sound, looks cool. It's wooden rims, and then the sound that we make, with all the synthesizers, just that we use a bunch of stomp boxes or amps or stuff that not originally not made for keyboards or anything like that. But it's just to try things out, basically.
Yeah, and to try to capture something different, and I think none of us is interested in making like how do you say traditional music, or when it comes to production. I mean, we want to break the boundaries and be a bit challenging.
But also when we did this album, I think we both were very it was a specific idea of okay, there's so many artists that sort of camouflage their they don't know how to record, and then the sound is a little bit weird because they say, we're searching for a great sound, but in 9 times out of 10 it's because they don't know how to record properly, and then they end up sounding weird, and they say, that's part of the sound. Yeah, but you will like the drum to sound amazing, but you didn't you're not able to do that. And we spent a lot of time set a great drum sound, a great piano sound, and using Neve, Neumann, Sennheiser, and Coles. And because we wanted a solid and good sound, and we spend a lot of time doing that, and it takes forever to set like a great sound. But when we mixed it, we brought it to another guy who mixed it on an SSL, and we just used the faders, and the drums were there.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
and also with the piano sound, and then we can fool around, with tape echoes with the keyboards. But what's the sound of They Owe Us, piano and drums, it was really well recorded.
You start with a good source. It's
Yeah.
always the best thing you can do.
That's a very interesting answer when you asked about you build your own stuff, but I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I think it's awesome you build your own drums. Are these the drums that I can see like on Instagram? Like those are the ones you build?
Yeah,
I see like wooden rims with like the blue around them.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are beautiful. They're really nice. That's worth taking a look, everybody. The drums on Instagram.
The red kit is called Love Sick, and the blue kit is called Seasick.
Oh yeah, nice. That's cool. Then, so are you using both of those on the record, or is it one in particular?
So here's the deal. It's we use the.
You have a third built.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and
it's your kit, right?
Another kit we used, yeah. Also wooden rims. It's on. It's like a zebra kit. It's also on Instagram. Yeah, we used that one. Yeah.
But you built it, right?
I built it. Yeah.
So cool.
Oh.
Now, when you guys you mentioned like recording all the piano and the drums, was this something you guys set up in the beginning of this whole project and had kind of left it alone, or is this every single time you guys got together you had to go through the process again?
No, we played around, made the songs, recorded a lot of synths, and when we were when we felt we were finished with the songs, and that was what we had left, like to record drums and acoustic piano for all the songs, and that's the only part of the album that it's very proper made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we were not drunk.
We were not drunk.
That's Hemingway. It's a right drunk, edit sober. Well, I think in a way, like it helps you just lose those inhibitions and just try something crazy.
Yeah.
You know, just what the hell, let's do it. That spirit is nice to have. So you guys kind of like threw together the songs and then added drums and piano like properly over the top of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's basically how we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So I'm almost picturing, tell me if I'm wrong, like this is like a lot of jamming, a lot of playing around, and then suddenly you have this whole collection of stuff that you now need to put together and figure out a little bit.
Yeah, we did it the other way around.
Hey, that's cool. That's part of what you guys are going for, though. That fits the theme of trying something a little different. What I like about that, and I think it carries over on the record, is it has this like kind of spontaneity, fun vibe to it, where it doesn't. I mean, everything is very tight and solid, but it also there's like an adventurous feeling to it, you know. So I think that's important to have that, and it's a good way to get it too, to get a lot of the basis of the song together, and then maybe, you know, take what you have and okay, let's fit this together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost blushing that someone actually spent time listening to everything.
I had to do my homework now.
It's wonderful.
So I know you guys wanted to talk a little gear, and again, scrolling through Instagram is a fun place. I mean, I see you in a room full of guitars and synthesizers and amplifiers. What were some of your favorite? Oh, that looks good. Is that the vinyl that you got there?
Yes,
Beautiful. Sir. Looks great. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What are some of the key pieces of gear you guys were using that you maybe helped drive the sound of this record?
That's the Jupiter.
We used the Roland Jupiter 4.
Wow, nice.
Synthesizer from 1978. We used that quite a lot, and
Juno?
And the Juno 106.
Mm-hmm.
for a bass and some pads. And the fun part with the Jupiter 4 is that I mean, it didn't have any MIDI or any sync options, so but it has a beautiful arpeggiator which we used a lot, and it's it became very groovy, because
Yeah.
you get it almost there in sync,
Uh-huh.
and that made things really magical, I think, when we just played
Yeah.
on the synth and not like programmed it.
And also Yamaha CP.
Yeah, Yamaha CP80, this semi-acoustic grand piano from the 70s, semi-acoustic electric. It's very popular these days among bands like well,
It's so popular, I don't remember.
well, I don't know if you know those bands, but it's very popular in Sweden, at least.
I think.
Yeah.
I think Yamaha did a reface of that. One of those little ones they did. if I'm not
Yeah, they
mistaken.
did.
Yeah.
It sounds really good, actually. But yeah, the real deal sounds amazing, and it looks very nice as well.
But basically, that's your keyboard part. That's one of the biggest key parts of the album, because it sets the tone of the song. Or it could be like a drum machine that I programmed, and then you could add a bass, and then all right, we got the song. But so it's I'm very happy that you got all those synthesizers, because all the synthesizers are set up so Rane just move through all the keys, and then so this is the mood. So you can hear it on a Wurlitzer, on the Fender Rhodes, and a Hammond, and then boom, there it is.
Right.
Yes.
I like that.
Nice, everything. You have access to everything at once.
Yeah, the studio has a good setup where everything is wired to the recording console. So we could just walk around and play on different instruments and record instantly, which make things very vibey, because you could record whenever you want without knowing what to play, really. But that's where the magic happens, we think.
Yeah. This is the part when I play Ghosts and Goblins.
Yes. We have a Nintendo in the studio as well.
That was a very difficult game, by the way.
It is.
That's kind of like what I've got going on behind me here is something where everything's always plugged in. And, and it's just, okay, let's try this one. And, they inevitably all get wound up in all different sorts of sounds, and, the knobs are doing all kinds of things on different ones, so that, each time I go to one, it's, I programmed the bass last time I used this synth, and I go over here and it's a pad. And it's nice that way, though, where you don't lose the energy. I'm not like, okay, let me plug this one in. All right, where is it? Why isn't it making sound? That whole thing. So that's a fun way to work, just to have things ready to go, so that when you want to be creative, you don't have to worry so much about the whole setup and the. Yeah. I could only imagine how many years of my life I've lost under tables with wires trying to figure out why something isn't making any noise.
What's the synthesizer we used on Brushing Off the Dust when you play some sort of solo?
Yeah. I have this early Roland synthesizer called SH2000, and it's Roland's second built synthesizer. And it's monophonic, and it's got very just have preset sounds, which you could modify a little bit with I think resonance and cutoff. It's very primitive, but it really made that song, I would say.
I remember you tried. I don't know if you just got it repaired or something. But
yes,
you had it on the floor, and you said, "Maybe I can try this one." And then you said, "Hey, push record," because you were all over the place.
Yeah.
But and then the day after we had breakfast and we went up to the studio and we both looked at each other. Oh, this is it! You did it!
Yeah. Sometimes those old instruments have a, you feel you have a, they have a soul. So
Yeah.
they, yeah, they really provide you with the inspiration, and yeah, it's really magical experience sometimes, I think.
Yeah, it's like taming a
Analog
wild
gear,
animal.
yeah, because yeah, it's funny, but I don't. It never happens when I sit with a plugin. Really, then I have to do everything by myself, and it doesn't give me anything really. But all this, yeah,
And also, again, a key part of the album is again this synthesizer. You put that through a Space Echo into a Roland jazz chorus,
yeah,
and so it was a signal of many
Roland.
many wives. So,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Well, then it's also when you record it, it's printed. Those effects are there.
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah. And we're usually very like the space. I mean, the Roland app has a beautiful spring reverb and a beautiful chorus, so that's always on max. And then, so yeah, we like to be to push things.
All the keyboards you made, basically, all the you had the Space Echo, I think.
Yeah,
and all of the guitars and keyboards that I made with pins on Echo.
Yes.
Also on max.
I think if I had any of those in my studio, I'd run everything through it. It'd be like, it'd be the mixer plugged directly in there.
Yeah.
You know,
it's funny with the Space Echo. I once just made an insert through the door without having anything on, like nothing from the tape or from the spring, but still just running the vocal through the Echo electronics. It made it sound so much more organic and not that digital anymore. So
without any effect, just through,
just dry, just the electronics, and I mean, it's very nice to distort through the Space Echo as well.
Good.
So, I've got it's just over here. It's a Tascam 8-track reel-to-reel. It's a Studio 388, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's it's a mixing desk.
That's the gray one, light gray.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, it's like a gray. Yeah. I'll just point my little camera here. Sorry if you're listening. This guy.
Oh.
I like that reaction.
I think they got. Okay, yeah.
I'll often just run sound through the channels, and maybe a little bit of EQ, maybe not. But like you said, it just brings it to life. Especially sounds that are just straight in the box, plugins or virtual instruments. They're like, so clean and perfect in a bad way. That it's just nice to get it through a little bit. The channels aren't as clean as they could be all the time, and sometimes they get a little like fuzzy. But man, like sometimes it's just perfect because of that.
Yeah.
It just feels really good. I'm a big believer in just running things through wires and electronics, even if you don't actually use the the effect or the recording or the tape. It's not even touching the tape sometimes. It's just through the electronics.
Yeah.
Subtle things that, I think before we talked, we were saying like this is the kind of stuff that's hard to explain to someone that's not some kind of gear nerd. Like, hear the difference? It's like, no, it sounds the same to me.
But it's one good thing when we mixed the album, we mixed it to 1/4 inch, and there's one song, I think it's Broken English, that we felt, all right, this song doesn't need tape compression. And that's a good thing also when you have the opportunity to do A and B. And that song felt all right. The tape, a little bit, make it too mushy and almost destroy the song. So it's a good thing. That's the only song that we didn't print on tape.
Sometimes it's better left alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
and it's we are blessed to have the opportunity to check it.
Yeah.
yeah. I wonder if that has to do with just the fact that you're using so much old gear anyway, that you're getting enough of that warmth that,
Could be.
you know, after a while it starts to get a little hazy.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, we really love the sound of tape. It's we have this 8-track Utari tape recorder, very nice one, and we haven't used it very much yet. But it sounds, if you compare it to a computer recording, it's a very physical experience. When you hear the recording from the tape, it sounds like everything is played in the room, like live,
Yeah.
almost, because it's such a huge presence compared to the digital recording. So
Yeah. Fun.
yeah.
Yeah, something about the tape, like what you do on one track kind of influences what happens on the other track a little more. Like it might even bleed into the track a little, but
And also the limitation.
Yes.
yeah, that
I think
too.
that's good with the limitations, actually, to be creative around certain limitations and borders. You know, you have to think and take another path instead of just creating another track in Logic or whatever.
Yeah, or just digging out a new plugin, or
Yeah.
there's just there is I think really that is the big obstacle of the modern producer, is the endless limitations or the
Yes.
lack of limitations, where you don't have to think through a problem. You can just say, well, let's throw this on the track. Let's do this. Let's make another track. Let's re-record it. Let's undo it. There's so many things you can do that get you out of thinking and just trying things, throwing it out. But yeah, with the tape, you really have to be careful. and it's like individual tracks in your DAW, they are so isolated from each other. They don't affect each other at all. But sometimes on the tape, like if you overdrive channel 2, like you can hear it on 3 and 1 as well. It's just like they're related to each other, and
Good.
they can like blow each other out. You know, sometimes something's too loud that everything else kind of ducks, almost like a natural side chaining kind of thing going on.
Oh.
But those interactions are fun. My this guy right here is the it's a realistic Moog. It's like a Radio Shack Moog. It's called the Concert Mate MG1. It's from the 80s. It was like a consumer, synthesizer. It's a lot like the Moog Rogue.
Yeah.
That one there, except it's got this polyphonic channel, which is great. You can't do anything with it, but except play it. But it just sounds awesome. It's this like cool organ sound. But this
organ sound.
Yeah, kind of organy. It's like a square wave organ kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the little sliders on here have like all these issues where they crackle and they make all this noise, and I love it. It's so broken in a great way. It's
good.
Broken in that living way you were saying, like where I can something I love to do with it is use the noise channel to make like sweeps and things like that, and it always cuts in and out, and it's random, and you never know when it's going to happen. And if you kind of like pull the fader, lean it to the side as you slide it up and down, you'll get it a little smoother than if you go I just love that, like, it's like a collaboration with the machine, that I'm like, I don't know what you're going to do really. And I'm going to try to do what I'm doing here. But it's like another person in a way where
Yeah.
you never know what they're going to do. That's a fun part of it. It sounds like you guys are having a good time with those types of things as well.
Yeah, yeah. We have a Farfisa organ from the 60s that's yeah, I mean it's not fully working, but it's working, but and all those cracks and um, small damages when it comes to the sound. Um, yeah, it's really inspiring sometimes
Yeah,
because
I like it.
yeah, magic happens.
So now all this stuff is fun, right? But it gets a little challenging when you want to go play out, I imagine.
True.
And it looks like you guys. It looks like I just missed you guys. Actually, you guys were at the Bowery Electric
Yeah.
in the beginning of
That's a,
June. And you were in
it
New
was
York
good.
recently.
Yeah, recently, well, yeah, 1 month ago.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the good thing, and I realized that while on tour with this band is more when we did this. We did a few shows in America after a week in Europe, and in Europe we had our own backline and everything. So the day we more or less did the same show for a week, but in America we just arrived with a pair of drumsticks and you had a bunch of stomp pedals, and at Bowery we had a stage piano and some a good but modern drum kit, and we felt like, okay, today is going to be this kind of show. And the day after we did Williamsburg, and you had this grand piano and had a drum kit from 1956 or something like that. And the day after was Fender Rhodes and the 70s Ludwig. And all those three shows sound complete different because the voicing of the Fender Rhodes made me play, all right, let's do this, and let's even if we have a backtrack for some songs, we end up not being slaves to that backtrack. We just did whatever we want, and then we had some pre-recorded stuff, and that was really cool, I think. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's a very good experience. I would like to do that more. Just show up and say, all right, let's see what kind of show he's going to do today. It's fun, right?
Yeah, that sounds exciting. Nerve-wracking a little bit too, I imagine. Like, what are we going to get here today?
yes,
Because when we did that thing in Williamsburg, I thought, all right, I brought my iPad to play, like drum machine something, and you had a
Casio toy keyboard.
yeah, and we thought, okay, let's do something with this. And then when we came to the place, it was amazing equipment. So we
had to redo our
we rearranged all the songs
songs.
more or less.
Yeah.
Let's fool around, and then end up
yeah,
good,
really
fun.
cool.
Anyway, it was fun.
So, how are you doing the backing tracks, and like, what's that like? Who does that even? Is that something you're controlling as you go, or is it something that you kind of just give to the front of the house engineers?
Well, we have this playback unit called Somatic.
Somatic.
Yeah, and it's like a sound interface with a buttons, and we loaded like 3 stems of backtracks to this machine. Like we have a bass, drums, and synths, and we run them through 3 different amps on stage, like bass to a bass amp and synth
cool.
to an electric guitar amp.
Yeah.
And then the sound engineer gets a copy of those signals to run it through the PA. So it's a little bit of a different setup, but it feels more like a band on stage when we run things through different guitar amps instead for just a stereo track through the PA.
Yeah.
sounds more alive, and that the backtrack is a part of us and not at the side of us.
No, I agree, and it's more fun to play also when it comes to the bass, the pre-recorded bass. It feels good to have like a fat bass between us. You know, you can really feel it.
The vibrations.
Yeah, and it's good to. Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, I like that idea of spreading out the sound rather than just through the PA. Everything through the PA is definitely the easier way, I suppose. But to have it go through the separate amps, it gives you the sense of space too. Like there's a person over here.
But it comes also. It comes with this. Every time when we talk to the front of house, we tell them, okay, so here's 3 signals. We would like you to do nothing with these. It's already EQ'd, my friend. Don't do anything. We just would like you to do faders, all right? And then you hear like, always, because
Can't resist.
yeah.
There's a knob to turn. I had to just
But
touch
it's
it.
okay. They know the room, but it's fun. All the shows we've done, we tell them you don't have to do anything. You always hear during the sound check.
When I play out, I do like a solo electronic thing, and everything comes out of my sound card in a left channel and a right channel, and that's it.
Yeah.
My voice goes through the computer. Everything I do goes through the computer, and I'm like, part of what I'm doing is mixing it too.
Yeah.
So I always say this will be like your easiest run of the night. All you got to do is just set the volume, and sometimes you do hear like, something just sounds a little off tonight. There's some sort of boost or cut going on.
Yeah.
But it is hard to, I guess, resist.
Yeah.
If you're a professional.
I could add to this.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I like the idea of having it spread out in the room. I've experimented with that. I at one time was collecting these PV like keyboard amps, basically. These they were cheap, which is why I was getting them wherever I could, like for $100. And I had 4 of them at one time, and I was surrounding myself with them and trying to, figure out interesting ways to do it. But I dropped that just out of the simplicity of not having to carry 4 giant amps around. So, I'm sorry that I missed you guys. I didn't realize, I don't know if we had connected actually at that time, back in the beginning of June, but I'm on Long Island, New York, so that was my neck of the woods. I've been to some of those places you guys were at.
We will come back.
Yeah, come back. You'll have to let me know for sure. So, how'd you guys get the name They Owe Us?
So many people owe us.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
We've both been working in our separate studios for many years, and been doing so much music and productions, gigs for other people, bands, artists, for free or for very little money. So, and eventually we got tired of doing that, and so that's part of the name.
It's a really good name.
It's surprisingly easy to find you guys.
Yeah.
I thought it would be harder. I've been thinking about this a lot lately myself, just like naming, what do you call yourself as an artist and stuff. And, when I saw yours, I was like, They Owe Us. I'm thinking like Google ability, But you came right up, it was the first thing, and multiple.
There is a band I think they're from New York. They're called The Internet.
Oh.
You know that? Have you heard about them?
I haven't, no. That's got to be tough to find. I have these like recordings of a band. I think they're called it's like one word. It's like water, or it's not water, but that's the name of their band, you know. And they're just. I don't even know where I got these songs from. They're on my phone. They're the actual file. I'm not streaming them, and I can't find any of their other Flight. That's what they're called. They're called Flight, and I can't find them just because their name is like you get airplanes, and like I can't find the band. I don't know. Maybe they don't even exist. Maybe someone's listening that knows. But man, I have these two songs. They're like awesome rock songs. They're dirty. They're distorted. It sounds like they did everything wrong in a good way, and it rocks. But I can't find it. So yeah, you guys are easy to find. Luckily, right? So what's next for you guys? Are you playing out still? Are you still touring?
It's October,
September.
Yeah. We do festival in September, and then a few shows in October, and yeah.
Nice.
We decided to, while waiting for you to show up here, we decided to lock ourselves into the studio this summer.
Yes, and we have always things in pipeline. Like there will come out a third video, like music video, for one of the songs. It's called "There's a Wave, There's a Will," and we got this live, like unplugged video recording from Brooklyn, Williamsburg, coming out very soon as well, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah, so things are happening. We have also a couple of remixes that will be released.
Yeah.
So there are things that will happen during the summer or the end of summer.
Nice. Kind of spread it out, sprinkle it through the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Nice. I look forward to seeing that video from Brooklyn, because that looks. I think I'm seeing the picture here with the piano.
Yeah.
And the Ludwig. Is that a Ludwig? It looks like. Yeah.
No, it's a we have. What is it? It's Lidi.
Okay.
Lidi.
Yeah, it says
Ledi
and Ludwig.
Yeah.
That's a cool looking kit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing that. So I'll be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
Nice. Sounds like a fun way to spend your summer, locked up in the studio. So we can send people to theyoweus.com, right?
Yeah.
Theyoweus.com, and then the Instagram page I was talking about was /theyoweus. Again, nice and easy to find. And
Spotify.
All Apple Music, Spotify. Yep. The album is called Broken English and Sad Serenades. The group is They Owe Us. And I appreciate you giving me some time here to talk about all this. Enjoy hearing about your process. Makes me interested to do a little work that way, with just kind of playing, having fun, messing around, and then later on going and structuring it a little bit. I think that's a great way to capture ideas that just kind of pop up, and it's not always so intentional. But then to go back and figure it out and make it into something more intentional. That sounds like a fun way to work. I think I could have a good time with that. So thank you for that. And any last things you want to say to anyone that may be listening?
If you're listening, thank you for listening.
Yeah, I appreciate that too.
Keep making music.
Cool.
And don't sound like your idols.
Exactly. And use analog gear.
Okay, so we've taken a stand on the analog versus digital debate, which I think there's no reason we need to fight. We can all get along.
That's true.
But yeah, I'm with you. I like turning knobs and seeing things move and light up, and interacting with these like strange life forms.
True. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you everyone for listening. And all these links will be in the show notes. And have a great day, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.